This is Al Jazeera.
And live from Studio 14 here at Al Jazeera headquarters in Doha, I'm Foliba Thibault. Welcome to the news grid. It's a ceasefire only in name. Heavy clashes, including shelling and gunfire, rage in rebel-held eastern Aleppo, a day after a truce deal meant to stop the fighting between Syrian government forces and the rebels. Civilians who stayed up all night waiting to be evacuated are losing hope.
Those trapped inside Aleppo have posted harrowing goodbye messages. Today, we reconnected with many of them. You can follow the story with the hashtag AJNewsGrid.
We're really in a stage where it's not known exactly how many people are killed. Unfortunately, when the people are buried under the rubble, there is just no heavy equipment to be able to pull those people out for the most part. And that's what you have. You have people that are entombed, sometimes alive, and sometimes they're not.
An incredibly desperate situation. Thank you so much, Bilal, for speaking to us and giving us a picture there. As we hear the bombings there, we'll leave you. Please stay safe. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Bilal Abdul Karim, an American journalist inside eastern Aleppo right now. As you heard the bombing behind him there, civilians are not safe. No one is safe in eastern Aleppo right now. Leah, our social media producer, joins us now. And most of the tweets that we had on yesterday were people actually saying goodbye. Have we heard back from those people?
Well, the narrative that I've seen on Twitter has changed from saying goodbye to these same civilians asking questions, mainly why? Why is this still ongoing? Bana Alabed, one of the Twitter accounts that we've been following of a 7-year-old girl whose mom has been tweeting, she's asking the same thing. Why? Fear is killing me and my kids, referring to Bana, the 7-year-old girl, and her 2 little brothers. Lena Shami, also a voice that we spoke to yesterday. She says the genocide is still ongoing and no one could leave the city. This is what she just posted on Twitter.
Criminal Assad regime and the Iranian have broke the ceasefire and they were back to attack the civilians and to continue the genocide. Civilians are stuck again in the city. No one could have left the city under this agreement. How can we trust Russia after they have promised that this agreement will occur and that no one will attack the civilians? How can we trust Russia? The revolutionaries will fight till the last breath, protecting the civilians here in the city. And they will continue fighting as long as regime and Iranian will keep attacking us.
Protests have been popping up all around the world in solidarity with people like Lena and Bana asking for the violence in Aleppo to stop with the hashtag #StandWithAleppo. This tweet sent earlier today, I was talking to Robert. He's in Edinburgh in Scotland. He was saying that the protests are out of solidarity for what is going on in Syria. And he said if Europe is going to be taking these refugees, they should at least know what they're coming from. Zuhur al-Shamali, he's someone who's currently there. He is someone who's wanting to become a refugee. His video that we posted on our Facebook page has 250,000 views already just from 2 hours ago, an ongoing narrative. But he sent our team these different sound bites and we wanted to play them for you.
And in another area in Al-Mashhad district where as well it's totally devastated and destroyed as a result of the attacks. In another street in Al-Mashhad area where it went in a total devastating situation where most of the buildings are burned or destroyed as a result of the attacks. One of the people of the civilian here is burning his motorbike because he wants to leave and he don't want the regime to take his motorbike and to take it and to sell it maybe in the future. So he's just taking it and burn it in the flame, and that's it.
The evacuation process haven't started yet, and we are just waiting for a specific time to start transferring the injuries. They don't want it to make it easy for us to leave, and yes, like that as they said yesterday, yeah, we will leave, and in the other day we will leave. They will make us suffer for a little bit, like for maybe some hours or maybe days. We don't know. I was just moving in the streets, and many people were asking me, "What about the cessation? What about the evacuation? When we are gonna leave?" And I've said to them, "Yes, it's just a matter of time. Just calm down and take it easy." And yes, that's it.
Now, together, they make up a formidable collection of millionaires, billionaires, and well-connected power brokers. Welcome to the future cabinet of Donald Trump. The latest name to formally join the roster is Rick Perry, the former governor of Texas. He's being tapped to head the Department of Energy, a position he once famously said he would eliminate. Perry is not the only unlikely choice, though. Rex Tillerson is the current CEO of ExxonMobil. If the Senate approves his nomination, he'll go from chief executive to chief diplomat as the new U.S. Secretary of State. Now, Trump's pick to head the Environmental Protection Agency is the Oklahoma Attorney General Scott Pruitt. He's sued the agency in the past and, incidentally, is a climate change skeptic. And then there is Andrew Putzer, the man selected for Secretary of Labor. He's currently CEO of a company that runs fast food chains, one of which was cited for overtime violations. Putzer opposes significant increases in the minimum wage. What has the tweeter-in-chief been saying?
Interestingly enough, Donald Trump has not tweeted about this, and Rick Perry has not either, but there's a very strong conversation going on around the hashtag #NoDAPL around the Dakota Access Pipeline. Why? Because Rick Perry is actually on the board of the company that is building the pipeline. A very strong conversation going on there, and it's scared actually a lot of scientists, a lot of people who support the push to address climate change. And though Donald Trump has not said it specifically, his rhetoric has scared a lot of scientists into creating an archive of sorts to keep climate data relevant and active by creating a live archive of as many U.S. government climate assets as possible before January 20th. Eric Holthus, of course, running that campaign. This is one of the documents of all the different documents that have been put into this list, proving that climate change exists. This is an example of one of them here, tracking climate change as put together by NASA. And this one showing how hot the world is in 2015 as compared to decades prior. We'd love to hear from you. It's an ongoing conversation. We want to know what you think this will mean in the fight against climate change. You can join in on the conversation with our hashtag AJ Newsgrid, or you can write to me directly at Leah Harding, AJE.